Full disclosure, the voice you are listening to now is artificially generated, brought to you by satisphonic.com. See the link in the description for more details. What's something that's painfully obvious, but people will never admit? You can do everything 100% right and be the best in the world, but sometimes it just comes down to pure chance. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life. Pick up. Some people will not like you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Trying to force a friendship or relationship with someone who doesn't love you back isn't going to work. Yet very few people ever learn this lesson, nor do they want to hear about it either. They think they'll be the one person that can find that magic trick. They won't. You can be the juiciest, ripest, richest apple in the world, but some people just don't like apples. How about them apples? Points to golden apples. And that nobody really knows you. Everybody just has their own perception of you, and that perception is you for them. Think about it. Like there kind of exists as many versions of you as there are observers, and the real deal, the one you are experiencing and breathing, is never seen as a whole by anyone. It might sound depressing for some. For me, it's the opposite. That thought frees me. I cannot control what everybody else are thinking about me. I cannot convince anybody to see me as I do. The only thing that matters is who I am and how I act. I agree, and your comment is a reminder and very appreciated. But if you, say, hate yourself, is there any way to apply this mindset effectively? Thanks. There sure is. Be aware of how you speak to yourself. There's absolutely no reason to be so mean or harsh. You're such a cool person. You're such a cool person. You know all the best jokes. Even so, if they don't come up to your mind when with people, at least that happens with me. You have the best taste, you know. You can even give yourself a hug or kind of feel how nice and soft your skin feels.
Why would anybody hate any of that softness? If you don't feel like you are productive enough, fuck that shit.
You are? You have rested and got up so many times that you have all the right to be scrolling at the sofa. You are connecting with me, giving me a piece of that awesomeness that I'm sure there's plenty of other people also willing to have. Was ghosted by someone who I thought I had a great connection with. Needed this. Humans hate to admit to feeling jealous, yet it's usually very clear to those around you. Why do they hate admitting to that feeling? From my perspective, when I've reflected on my own moments of jealousy, I hate feeling it because it's completely irrational. Every single time. It's illogical. It can foster ingratitude for your own good fortunes. It can hold you back. And I think people so rarely admit to it because it's a stupid emotion to feel, yet still it happens. Was ghosted by someone who I thought I had a great connection with. Needed this. Everybody picks their nose. It's what happens next that sets us apart. I was on a flight and saw this drop-dead gorgeous woman in a business suit sat a few rows in front of me. I was trying to sleep with my head against the bulkhead, and at one point I saw her hiding her head in the crack too with a pillow or something, and she was picking her nose. She'd slowly pick one, examine it carefully, and then eat it. When we were disembarking, I kind of wanted her to know that I knew her secret, but I couldn't do it. Boredom is healthy for promoting thinking. Man, I took a trip once into the forest for 10 days. No service really. I was just walking around and camping. Can't look at your phone while walking, so I just zoned out, started having really vivid daydreams, like a kid again. Was really cool. I've had a few jobs with lots of downtime that didn't allow phones. My co-workers would complain. I would just pace and make up stories in my head. I have a dayd, though, so daydreams are a way of life for me. Shower, vivid daydream. Falling asleep, basically a movie running through my head. Long drive, trying to tell myself a story. Brain's got to be doing something at all times. The only downside is that I have to be careful that I don't accidentally speak the words in the story. It's awkward when someone walks into a room and you're mumbling dialogue to yourself. I'm trying to get my friends to go camping, but they just won't. It was so fun when I was younger, and I can only imagine it would be better now. I'm in Alcoholics. Anonymous and my sponsor tells me boredom is a good thing. Being bored means nothing tragic is happening. There are no emergencies.
You okay?
I heard something in a meeting about this. Boredom is unrecognized serenity. Tangentially related, I read an article, wish I could find it, that our devices keep us from reaching deep boredom, and that's not desirable. Deep boredom is where people practice hobbies, practice an instrument, and engage in games, not video games, or puzzles and social activities that redirect thinking and enhance creativity and other mental aspects. Articles added, studies suggest that we get our most original ideas when we stop the constant stimulation and let ourselves get bored. EPS, UWNP or Orc Section Saltech considered 20 quadrillion, 150 trillion, 112 billion, 376,717,870,870. Technology is saving you from profound levels of boredom, and it's a problem. The vast majority of people know exactly what their problems are and what they would need to do to fix them. They just feel too unequipped or overwhelmed to follow through. That's me right now. Nothing wrong with feeling overwhelmed. Just don't convince yourself that change is impossible. That's when you've lost. That people do pee in the swimming pool. There is a big difference between peeing in the pool and peeing into the pool, Dimitri Martin. Trying to love someone more won't fix the relationship. Hoping simply loving them will solve the problem won't always work. Never assume you're the exception. Your mental health is directly affected by your physical health. The reverse is true as well. My life changed fundamentally after watching that TED talk on fake it till you become it. I was suffering from brutal anxiety and depression, and the only thing that saved me was your mind can influence your body. But the reverse is true too. You can fight your mind with your body and convince it to win, like want to feel more confident. Make more confident poses, and you will literally start feeling it. It saved me from a massive depression spiral. Edit. Some people have said this advice is basically just smile, and you'll be happy. No, it's not. Depression and anxiety is a drain, or a downward spiral. You mentally feel bad or scared over something, which makes you physically feel bad, phantom pains, chest pain, etc., which makes you mentally feel more scared and bad, which makes you physically feel bad. This technique or outlook is to just try and break the cycle, to try and force somewhere in here, whether it be a placebo mentally or a placebo physically, to stop the cycle at some point so you can escape. For me, it helped me break the physical one. I'd go out thinking my chest is gonna hurt, and my head is gonna hurt, and I can't concentrate, and I just wanna go home. And then it stopped hurting, so I stopped being scared, and I got better. Looks really matter. It's fucking dumb and not right, but it just seems to be this constant in life. The better you look, or the better you look, or the better you make yourself look, you will notice people are more pleasant to you. I think there's a lot of conventionally attractive people who don't realize that this is the reason a lot of things happen for them. From things that are huge, like getting a job, to small things like returning an item at a store. Looks matter a ton. Reminds me of a line from Seinfeld. You never see any handsome homeless. There was actually a homeless man in my old neighborhood who was very good looking. He slowly got less and less good looking over the few years I saw him. Drugs are a hell of a drug. And related to this, grooming matters. You may not be conventionally attractive, but excellent grooming goes a long way. Most people are parakeets and mindlessly repeat whatever is regurgitated in their environment or social milieu. We're all guilty of it to varying degrees. Also, most people are parakeets and mindlessly repeat whatever is regurgitated in their environment or social milieu. We're all guilty of it to varying degrees. This is an anomaly that I've been fortunate enough to witness firsthand. My entire 20s were spent underweight and addicted to drugs. I got clean and gained a lot of weight, and then I got to do exercise and got in the best shape of my life. When I was overweight or underweight and drug addicted, no one cared to know me or be my friend. People would avoid me and pass me up for opportunities. Got in phenomenal shape, and I get stopped at grocery stores by women now. Not even exaggerating. I had one woman approach me and ask me to help her find something. I helped her, and she asked if I'd like to walk with her to go shopping. In my previous life, I didn't even know this was a possibility. People are nicer to me. People care about the things I say. Anytime my name is brought it's because someone is talking highly of me or my practices. People approach me about opportunities regularly. Everyone wants to be my friend. I'll also say this, looks are 90% effort. If you take care of your body, your hygiene and your style, you will be attracted to 90% of women. Any man can go to the gym and coordinate their style. If you get in shape, that's 70% of it. Hygiene is the other 15, and the rest go to style. Get those down, and your big nose won't matter. Adults still have no idea what the fuck they are doing. I never knew that as a child. This was a really hard realization for me when I was younger. Thought they had all the answers. It was a big wake-up call when I realized everyone is just doing their best, the only way they know how. Most are just making it up as they go. My dad did something I thought was brilliant to help me overcome my fear of a particular picture in a book. He had me tear it out and destroy it in the sink. Years later, I asked him where he got the idea. He told me, "I just came up with it. I was winging it and it seemed like a good idea at the time." When my daughters were bickering, I zipped them up together in my big hoodie and made them be a two-headed, two-armed, four-legged monster all afternoon. About 2 minutes into it, they were no longer fighting and were enjoying themselves. Other parents are like, "Wow, how did you think of that?" And I'm like, "Well, I was tired of hearing them argue and I thought it would be funny." Some relationships are forced. Every day feels like a second job after getting off work. If you find yourself going to work after work, you need to start asking yourself if the relationship is really a relationship and not a second job. Thank God for my second wife for opening my eyes to what a relationship really is. Life is actually easier the more responsible you are. That life waits for no one. Life is so short and it just ends, and we're all not gonna matter one day. So move on and do whatever the fuck I want in this life. I live by this rule. Smile, listen, agree, then do whatever I was gonna do anyway. Celebrities ain't shit. A lot of the time, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Once you're an adult, most people don't care about your well-being. You might not like it, but you need help. Everyone needs help at some point or another, whether mentally, emotionally, or otherwise. Most of us are painfully aware of the need at some time, but admitting to it and acting on that need goes unheeded. People are very often rewarded for being truly terrible human beings. Selfish, greedy, narcissistic, sociopathic, all traits that will help someone get ahead in life by walking over the backs of others. I can totally believe it's not butter. Nobody's success is ever solely their own doing. If you work hard, the guy who works smarter will probably beat you and make it look easy. Work smarter. My policy is there is an easier way to die anything. You just have to find it. Some might disagree, but it's gotten me quite far, and I don't intend on stopping. The human condition is one of pain and loss, and love and joy, just not all the time. Social media is poison. That the American two-party system is not good for the user. People in power, politicians, the rich, etc., don't give two shits about you or your troubles. None of them will change your life. Hell, I'm neither and have my own troubles to deal with. Edit, I'm usually caring to neighbors and friends. 2 jobs to pay for my wife's cancer bills, while also trying to raise our 2 kids, because she's in the hospital kind of saps your time and energy.